Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see how to create the producer application using Java. Okay, so let's before that we have to understand few things. So how do we make the database connection? This is the code for creating the database connection using Java. But if you are using Spring Boot, then you don't have to make these many these many code. You don't have to worry about all these changes. Only you need to specify the connection parameters in the properties files of the Spring Boot application. But if you want to establish the database connection from the core Java, then you need to specify the driver name, and then you need to create the connection object, and from the connection object you have to create the statement. From the statement you need to supply the query to the execute query method that will return the result set. Then you have to iterate through the result set, and finally you have to close the connection, right? So these many things we have to do in order to interact with the database. Okay, so in the same way, uh, for for interacting with the JMS provider, for posting the message to the JMS provider or to consume the message from the JMS provider, we need to create these many objects. So first one is the connection factory. This connection factory is an interface. So the implementation of the interface has to be provided by the broker you are using in your application. For example, if you are using ActiveMQ, that ActiveMQ connection factory has to be have is the responsibility of the ActiveMQ connection factory to provide the implementation for this connection factory interface. And from that connection factory object, you need to create the connection. From the connection object we have to create the session. From the session we can create the message objects. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create the producer application. Okay, so now go to file, new, maven project, check this create a simple project checkbox, click next, producer app -jms. Okay, click finish. Okay, so now go to the pom.xml. Here we need to add only one dependency, which is ActiveMQ all dependency. Okay, dependencies. Let's format this code. Okay, so now we downloaded we declared this dependency in the pom.xml. So we can check it in under the Maven dependencies whether this dependency or jar file got downloaded from the Maven repository. So it's got downloaded. So now we can proceed with the coding. Okay, go to source main Java, right click new class. So let's create a new class name my producer, and let's specify the package name as pack, and check this public static void main method checkbox. And here, so the first step is we need to create the connection factory. So the implementation of for this connection factory interface will be provided by ActiveMQ connection factory. Okay, so we need to supply the broker URL for this. So the URL is TCP://localhost:61616. So this is the TCP port for the ActiveMQ connection factory. So now we have the connection factory object. So from the connection factory object, we need to create the connection, create connection. Okay, so Control Shift O to add the JM this connection dependencies to the. So this method will throw the exception. So let's declare the method exception in the method. So now we got the connection object. Let's create the. Now we have to start the connection object. So now we have to start the connection object. So from the connection object, we can create the session object now. So the create session method require two parameters. One is Boolean one, which is transacted, and another one is acknowledge mode. So if transacted in the sense, if you are making any transaction related operations, then this value should be true. But this is a simple program. We are not going to do any transaction related messaging. So this value will be false. And this acknowledgement mode will be session dot auto acknowledged. Okay. So now we have the session now. So from the session object, we can create the message object. We can create the message now. Create text message. Text message. Okay, inside that we need to specify what message you want to deliver. Okay, let's have the message name as this message is from producer application. Okay, text message equal to, sorry, text message. Okay, so now we got the message, but we need to deliver this message to the queue, right? So for that we need one more object called message producer equal to this message producer object also can be created from the session object. Create producer. Okay, but this create producer require the object called destination to which we need to submit this message, right? So we need to create the destination object now. So so destination can be of two type. One is topic, another one is queue. So based on the message delivery model, that type of the destination will be decided. If point to point delivery model, then we have to select the queue. It should be the destination should be the queue. If publisher and subscriber delivery model, then it should be a topic. Okay, so now let's create the queue. So this queue also we can create from the session object. Create queue. The name of the queue we can have like demo.queue. Okay, Control Shift O to add the to import the dependencies. Okay, so now we got the message producer object. So now we good to send the message to the queue. Okay, now we can print the message like message has been posted to the queue successfully. Message has been posted to the queue successfully. To the queue successfully. Okay, now let's close the connection. Otherwise, it will create the performance issue, leading leaving so many connections open. Will create the resources will be overloaded and it will create the performance issue. Okay, now let's run this program. Before that, we go to ActiveMQ console and click on the queues menu. Refresh it. So we do not have any queue in this ActiveMQ queue section. Now let's run this program. Message has been posted to the queue successfully. Okay, now let's go to the ActiveMQ console, refresh this. Okay, here we can notice that and queue name is demo.queue, which is created by our application. Number of pending message is 1, number of consumer is 0 because we haven't created any consumer application yet, and message enqueued is 1 and message dequeued is 0. Once we created the consumer application and once that consumer application consume the message, then the message queue dequeued will count will become 1 and number of consumers count also will become 1 and number of pending message will become 0. So let's create the consumer application in the next video.